Your Ford battery is dying, and it's not the battery's fault. It's your sync settings. Somewhere in that infotainment system, a handful of features are quietly staying awake long after you've locked the doors and walked away, sipping power from the same 12-volt battery that has to crank your engine the next morning. Most owners never touch these settings because they don't even know they exist, and Ford doesn't exactly go out of its way to warn you about them in the owner's manual. The frustrating part is that this kind of drain builds slowly. You won't notice it after one night. You'll notice it after a week of light driving, or after a vacation where the car sat in the driveway, when you turn the key and get nothing but a clicking sound. And because it happens gradually, most owners blame the battery itself, replace it, and then watch the exact same problem creep back in 6 months later because the actual cause was never fixed. Here's the thing that makes this frustrating for shop technicians too. A battery drain like this rarely trips a warning light or shows up on a routine diagnostic scan because nothing is technically malfunctioning. Every one of these settings is working exactly as designed. The problem isn't a fault, it's a default. And defaults are set by engineers who assume you're driving the car often enough that the alternator erases the cost every single day. Today we're walking through 7 sync settings, one by one, that are the most common causes of that slow, invisible drain, so you can shut them off before they leave you stranded and reaching for jumper cables in a parking lot. Setting number 1. The built-in Wi-Fi hotspot left running. Newer Ford models can turn your vehicle into a rolling Wi-Fi hotspot, which is fantastic for road trips with kids in the back seat streaming movies instead of asking how much farther it is. The problem is that a lot of owners turn it on once for a single trip, forget about it, and never turn it back off again. Even with no devices connected, an active hotspot keeps its radio broadcasting a signal so any nearby device can find and join it, and that radio doesn't fully power down just because the car is parked and locked. This is one of the sneakier drains because it doesn't show up as an obvious dashboard warning or error message. You just notice, over a few weeks, that your car is a little harder to start in the morning, or that the dome light seems dimmer than it used to be when you open the door. Most owners never connect the dots back to a hotspot they turned on for a road trip 3 months ago. Open the Sync Settings menu, find the Wi-Fi hotspot section, and switch it off unless you're actively using it on a trip. Some trims let you set a hotspot timeout, so it shuts down automatically after a set period of inactivity, which is a smart middle ground if you use it occasionally, but don't want to remember to turn it off every single time. If your trim doesn't offer an automatic timeout, make it a habit to check this setting the same way you check that your headlights are off before walking away from the car. It's also worth remembering that the hotspot draws power whether one device is connected or 10 are connected, and whether anyone is actually using data or not. The radio itself is the cost, not the traffic passing through it. So even a hotspot that's technically idle, sitting there broadcasting its name and waiting for a device to join, is still burning through the same battery reserve you'll need the next time you turn the key. Setting number 2. FordPass Connect is never really asleep. FordPass Connect is the built-in modem that lets you start your Ford, lock it, and check its fuel level from your phone. It's a genuinely useful feature, but it works by keeping a low-power cellular connection alive around the clock so your phone can always reach the car. That connection doesn't shut off when you turn the key off. It pings cell towers, checks in with Ford's servers, and waits for commands from the app. And all of that pulls a small but steady current from the battery, hour after hour, day after day. For most daily drivers, this is a non-issue because the alternator recharges the battery every time you drive. The problem shows up when a vehicle sits for a week or two, like during a work trip, a hospital stay, or a slow winter month where the car barely leaves the garage. That constant trickle adds up, and owners come back to a battery that's too weak to turn the engine over, even though the car looked perfectly fine when they parked it. If you don't use remote start or the app's tracking features regularly, open the FordPass app, go into Vehicle Settings, and look for the connectivity or modem controls. Many owners don't realize there's an option to reduce how often the modem checks in, and on some models, you can disable it almost entirely. You'll lose a little remote convenience, like instant lock status updates, but you'll keep your battery alive through longer stretches of downtime, which matters far more than checking your fuel level from the couch. This drain rarely kills a battery on its own. It's more like a tax that's always being collected in the background. On a vehicle driven daily, that tax gets paid back every time you start the engine, and the alternator tops the battery off again. The trouble starts the moment daily driving stops, which is exactly why so many mysterious dead battery complaints come from people with a second car, a work truck sitting during a slow season, or a weekend-only Ford. If that sounds like you, don't just adjust the modem once and forget it. Check it again every few months, because software updates occasionally reset connectivity preferences back to their more aggressive defaults without much warning. Setting number 3. Guard Mode. Watching an empty driveway. Guard Mode is one of Ford's most talked about tech features, and for good reason. It uses the vehicle's sensors, cameras, and alarm system to monitor for tampering while you're away, and it will alert you through the app if someone gets too close, bumps the car, or tries the door handles. It's genuinely great for street parking in a busy city, a shared apartment lot, or for keeping an eye on a car parked at the airport for a week while you're traveling. But Guard Mode isn't free in terms of power, and Ford doesn't hide that fact. Though most owners never read that far into the manual. It keeps sensors active, keeps the alarm system armed, and listening for the specific vibration and motion signatures it's designed to catch, and in some configurations keeps a camera feed ready to activate instantly the moment something trips a sensor. All of that monitoring runs continuously, which means it runs whether there's an actual threat nearby or not. Leave it running continuously in your own locked driveway where nothing is threatening the car. And you're paying a real battery tax for a feature you don't need in that context. Use Guard Mode when you're parking somewhere unfamiliar, leaving the vehicle for an extended period in a public place, or traveling and unable to check on it yourself, and turn it off when the car is safely at home overnight. Toggling it through the FordPass app takes about 5 seconds, and it's worth building into your routine the same way you'd set a house alarm only when you actually leave. Setting number 4. Bluetooth constantly scanning for your phone. Every time you get within range of your Ford, Sync is supposed to reconnect to your phone automatically so your calls and music pick up right where they left off. To make that happen instantly, the system runs a continuous Bluetooth scan, constantly searching the airwaves for a paired device, even while the vehicle is off and sitting untouched in the garage overnight. It's a small draw individually, but Bluetooth radios aren't zero cost, and this scan never really stops on its own once it's enabled. If you've paired multiple phones over the years, including ones belonging to family members who no longer drive the car, a rental car company's loaner device, or an old phone you upgraded away from 2 years ago, the situation gets noticeably worse, because Sync keeps trying to reconnect to all of them on a rotating basis. Each failed connection attempt is a tiny burst of activity, and those bursts add up over hundreds of attempts a day. Go into the Bluetooth device list in Sync settings and delete any paired phones you no longer use. It only takes a minute, and it's something almost nobody ever does. For your primary phone, most owners are fine leaving Auto Reconnect on since the drain from one active device is minor. But if you're parking the vehicle for more than a couple of weeks, disabling Bluetooth entirely from the settings menu removes this drain completely for the duration. A lot of owners are surprised to find 5, 6, even 8 devices sitting in that paired list when they finally check it, going back years to phones they don't even own anymore. Clearing that list isn't just good for your battery, it's also good practice for privacy, since an old paired phone in the wrong hands could technically still reconnect to your car's audio and contacts if the previous owner never removed it, which matters even more if you bought the vehicle used and inherited someone else's paired devices along with it. Setting number 5. Voice Assistant always listening for the wake word. If your Ford has a voice assistant that responds to a wake phrase without you pressing a button first, that convenience comes from a microphone and processor that are always partially active, listening for that trigger word even when the vehicle is off and parked. It's a low-power listening mode, not full processing, but it's still power the battery has to supply around the clock, every single day the car sits, whether you ever use the feature or not. This matters more on models where the voice assistant is tied into a cloud-connected system, rather than running purely offline, because those setups tend to keep more of the electronics awake to stay ready for a connection the instant you say the wake word. Some owners genuinely love this feature and use it constantly for hands-free calls and navigation. Others set it up once, never say the wake phrase again, and have no idea it's still listening for it months later. If you rarely use voice commands, or you'd rather press a steering wheel button to activate them manually, switch the wake word detection off in the voice assistant settings. You'll still be able to use voice commands the traditional way, but the system won't be sitting there listening every second of every day for a phrase you might say once a month. Setting number 6. Live traffic and map updates. Downloading in the background. Built-in navigation on modern Ford models pulls live traffic data and periodically checks for map updates, so your routes stay current. and account for construction, closures, or new roads. That's a great feature when you're actually driving somewhere and need accurate directions, but the update checks don't always wait for the ignition to be on before they run. Depending on your settings, the system can reach out over the cellular connection to grab updates while the car sits parked overnight or over a weekend, using both the modem and a burst of processing power each time it happens. This is a smaller drain than something like an active hotspot left running, but it compounds with the other items on this list, especially over a long stretch of the car sitting unused in a driveway or storage unit. It's rarely enough to kill a battery by itself, but combined with FordPass Connect, an active hotspot, and guard mode all running at once, the small drains start adding up into something noticeable. In the navigation settings, look for background update or auto update options and switch them to manual, or set them to only update when the vehicle is actually running and the alternator is replacing what's used. You'll still get fresh maps and current traffic data just on your terms and your schedule, instead of the system deciding for you at 3 a.m. while the car sits in the garage. If you frequently drive long distances and rely heavily on live traffic to route around backups, you might decide the convenience is worth the small trade-off, and that's a fair call to make. The point isn't that this feature is bad, it's that most owners never realize it's happening at all, and a setting you don't know exists is a setting you can't make an informed choice about. Setting number 7. Leaving Sync's display awake in accessory mode. This last one is more about habit than a hidden setting, but it belongs on this list because it's one of the most common mistakes owners make without ever realizing it's a problem. Sitting in a parked car with the key in accessory mode, scrolling through the touchscreen, adjusting climate settings, syncing a new phone, or browsing through radio stations keeps the entire infotainment system powered at full brightness without the alternator running to replace what's being used. The screen, the amplifier, the processor, and every connected radio are all drawing from the same battery that has to start your engine. 10 minutes here and there doesn't feel like much in the moment, but it adds up over weeks of quick stops to grab something from the car, finish a phone call before heading inside, or wait for someone in a parking lot with the screen lit up the whole time. Multiply that by every day of the week, and it becomes a real contributor to a weak battery, especially when it's stacked on top of the 6 other drains already covered. The fix is simple and doesn't require touching a single setting. If you need to use the screen for more than a minute or two while parked, start the engine so the alternator is doing the work instead of the battery alone. If you're just checking something quickly, get in the habit of using your phone instead of firing up the full sync display. It's a small behavioral change, but paired with the other 6 settings on this list, it makes a real, measurable difference in how long your battery lasts between drives. Think of it this way. Your alternator is designed to supply power while the engine runs and top the battery back up afterward. Every minute you spend using the screen with the engine off is a minute that deposit never gets made, and the battery is left running at a small deficit until the next real drive. String enough of those minutes together across a busy week, and you've created a drain that looks, on paper, exactly like a failing battery, when really it's just math catching up with a habit. The bottom line: none of these 7 settings are broken, and none of them means something is wrong with your Ford or your battery. They're features doing exactly what they were designed to do, which is stay ready to help you at a moment's notice, whether that's starting your car from your phone, protecting it from a break-in, or picking up right where your last call left off. The trade-off is that readiness costs power, and if you're not actively using a feature, that cost is coming straight out of your battery's reserve every single hour of every single day, drive or no drive. Go through FordPass Connect, the Wi-Fi hotspot, guard mode, Bluetooth, the voice assistant, background map updates, and your own habits with the touchscreen, and turn off or scale back whatever you're not using regularly. None of these changes cost you anything, and most take less than a minute to adjust in the settings menu. If your Ford sits for more than 2 weeks at a stretch, whether it's a second vehicle, a work truck in the off-season, or you're just headed on a long trip, consider these settings the first thing you check before you leave, not the last thing you think about when you get back to a dead battery. And if you've already been through a battery or 2 on the same vehicle without ever touching these settings, don't assume you just got a bad battery from the parts store. Go back through this list first. There's a good chance the real problem was never the battery at all. It was 7 small settings quietly working against it the whole time. Your battery will thank you the next cold morning you turn the key and the engine actually starts on the first try, instead of leaving you standing in the driveway wondering what went wrong.